feel like your body reacts before your mind tells you what's really going on? This, my friends, is nothing weird. It's actually your intuition talking to you. And when you feel something in your body, whether it's goosebumps, I get that a lot. You know me, you hear me talk about goosebumps all the time. That for me, goosebumps is a good intuitive trigger. You might feel a pinprick, you might feel a rush in your body, your stomach might churn, your throat might tighten, your jaws might clench around certain people. That's all related to clairsentience, feeling a message. Okay. And what this means is your body is the messenger. So pay attention to how you feel. Where do you think the whole saying comes from about feeling your guts? The gut never lies, right? I'm gonna give you a few signs that tells you that you're clairsentient. And I can tell you from teaching people how to develop their intuition since 2011 that clairsentient is one of the most popular senses that people have. And I did a video about all the clairs. I'll link to it below, but check it out. The next video I'll be doing clairaudience, which is hearing. But today we're talking about clairsentience. All right. So I'll give you a few examples. When you feel something isn't right, but everything looks fine, but you just can't put a finger on what it is. Something just doesn't feel right. I mentioned the throat tightening. That's a big one. When you need to speak up about something or something just feels off. When your stomach churns, when you get goosebumps, like I said, when your jaw tightens, physical sensations like a nudge, a pressure, like a push. I know that sounds spooky. Or even a pinprick. I've had that a few times in the very beginning of me doing Reiki. I would pick up messages and hear things and feel things, and I'm like, I'm not saying that. I'm not telling nobody that. That sounds crazy. And then once I would get the pinprick, I would actually say, okay, I'm getting a message, and it would actually be very accurate. So I learned to listen. So I haven't got pricked in a 20 years. Another one that related to Reiki, but anybody that's probably a healer, does any kind of hands-on healing work, is your hand aching or itching. So when I first learned Reiki, my hands would literally itch when the person needed more help in the area, or they right now they actually turn into like arthritis. If the area is really bad, like they need help in that area, more healing, my hand will like cramp up and I'll feel it. So I'll be like, "Ooh, I need to work on this area." And then the second I work on it, it goes away. So that's another sense of sentient. People that are nurses, people that do massage, you probably pick up certain sensations in your body too. So pay attention. People that do hair too. You're in somebody's crown shop all day. You're picking up people's energy all day too. So the key to learning about your feelings and knowing whether it's your feelings or just anxiety or you're picking up other people's stuff, the key to learning is practice, right? Because it is really hard to know the difference in the beginning. You might feel overwhelmed. A lot of people that are empathic, they're picking up people's energy and they're like, is that my feelings? That's somebody else's feelings. So it's learning how to decipher. Even when I give a reading, I have to know, is this Simone talking or is this my spirit guide giving me messages? So you have to start to distinguish between the two. Practice. Like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. So one cool exercise you can do with a friend, partner, lover, whoever, is have them hold a picture, whether it's from a magazine, from a photo in their phone, or just in an envelope. You can make it fun and put it in an envelope. That's one of the exercises I learned very early on. And what you want to do is have your partner look at the picture and in their mind send you a telepathic message of this what they're looking at and you have to guess, but this time using your clairsentience. So what does it feel like? And usually when I do that exercise, I'll tell somebody, like I'll say, well, what's the mood? What do you feel anything in your body? Well, in one example, um, I I had a teacher put a picture in an envelope and we were sitting back to back and I had to guess what was in the envelope. And all I kept feeling was like a woo, woo, like I was on a roller coaster. And I kept feeling this kind of feeling. And then, so I was like, I don't know, this feels weird. It's like I feel like I'm on a roller coaster. Is it a roller coaster? I was like, I feel like I'm going up and down, up and down. And she said, no, but you're very close, very close. And I'm like, well, what is it? And she shows me a picture of this steep hill going like this, but it was in San Francisco. And if you anybody been to San Francisco, it's terrifying, those hills. That's what I saw. So even though I didn't get roller coaster, it was still pretty close. Like she could have been looking at a bowl of apples. You know what I mean? So that was like a good sense of my clairsentient, like feeling it in my body, right? So try that exercise and ask yourself, where do I feel it in my body, right? Don't analyze, don't overthink it. That's where a lot of people go wrong. They feel they're crazy, they're making it up. Just write down the first thing that comes to mind or tell your partner the first thing that comes to mind and see if it matches. Fun little exercise. Another exercise I can give you is called like a body check-in. Before you walk into a room, pause, see what you feel. Does it feel good? Do you feel tight? Do you feel loose? Do you feel happy? Pay attention to how your mood changes. Do you feel anything? Something simple as that, right? Exercise three is learning how to read a person's energy, right? When you're around somebody, ask yourself, do I feel happy? Do I feel anxious? Do I feel sad? Do I feel calm? And I want you to pay attention to not what they look like. What do they feel like to you? What does their energy feel like to you? We're pretty spot on with this most of the time. We know when somebody's not in a good mood or they're happy or they're putting on a front because most times we can read people, right? So when I do readings, I start with how I feel about the person. So I know that's a big part of one of my talents is feeling energy. I don't always see what they look like, but I'm very spot on with their chakras, what's blocked, what's open, who they pretend to be, who they show the world, and who they really are. I'm very good at reading that on people. But yeah, so reading people is a key talent to use. So practice on that. I'll give you one other example that was in my early days of doing readings that really blew me away as far as understanding feeling, right? It was so specific. So I had a client who wanted me to read her husband. And the way I do the readings, I write your first name, last name, age, and city that you're in. So it's like my GPS, right? So when I read him, I go into my meditation and I literally just felt myself very poised. And then I kept wanting to go like this. And I was like, why do I want to do that? Like it was like this weird urgency to like get up and do this. And I kept wanting to rub my hands together. And I felt like I had like something in my hands, gritty. So I was like, I don't know what your husband does, because usually I pick up their occupation first. So I was like, I don't know what he does, but he keeps doing this. And she started laughing. She was like, oh my God, my husband's a gymnast. So he's on like the balancing beam and doing with the chalk. So it was like, whoa, how did I know that? So that to me, I like doing that first because it helps the client say, okay, this she couldn't have Googled that. There's no way she could have known that. So it's like confirmation, and then it makes everybody be at ease, and then I can go in and do my thing. You know what I mean? But, yeah, it's those are, like, fun little ways of picking up people's energy. You can finally feel how they feel. Another funny one, I remember I read somebody's, another there's a boyfriend, and I think it was, like, let's say it was 8 o'clock on a Friday night, and I felt, like, really relaxed. I like, when I'm sitting up like this meditating, then all of a sudden I was just like, "I just wanna relax," and then I saw a cloud over my head, and then she goes, "Oh, Friday night? Yeah, he's getting high right now." Like, "Oh, you got him." So, again, I felt it in my body. And then sometimes even if I'm reading somebody and I pick up, oh my God, he's sitting up straight or she sits really straight. She's like fixing me. This person's very uptight. They need to loosen up a little. And then I might see numbers, or I remember one time I literally saw like the matrix, like the numbers zeros, ones, and then I said, is he in computers? Does he work in it? She's like, yeah, he's a financial analysis, da da da. And I said, okay, makes sense. So again, not saying you're all gonna be doing readings. It's just for your own knowledge, but to pay attention to how you feel when you're reading a person, when you're reading a space, a situation. Use your clairsentient gift. Okay, we all have it, y'all. Don't be afraid of it. And this is what I teach everyone. I teach you how to develop your intuition. I call myself a superhero trainer, intuitive trainer, because after you take any of my courses, you're going to feel empowered. You're going to realize how much strength you have, how much of your brain you were not utilizing. And this is why I love, love, love teaching discovery intuition levels 1 through 3. All right. So the next course is coming up soon. So make sure you see the comments below because I'm going to change the date. You're seeing this in the future, but I have classes every month, something happening. So definitely sign up for it. And then you're gonna see how tapping into your intuition allows you to have more confidence, have better connections in your family life, your relationship life, at work, because you're utilizing more of your brain. We are super beings, you know what I mean? And we're not utilizing our strength as much as we can. When we meditate, when we practice intuition, you take things on a whole nother level. You start manifesting like this. When I tell you, I got stories. So definitely sign up for one of my classes. I would love to see you in there. Make sure you tell me you saw the video, and Subscribe, like, and we'll be back with another video talking about clairaudience. What do you hear? See you guys.